This is the first live stream which we are going here in the Scientific Investor channel. So there can be some technical issues, so I really request you guys to forgive me for that. As I told, this is the first technical analysis live stream which we are going here, as many of my viewers were actually asking me which assets do I do for technical analysis, and some were actually asking to do, say, for XRP, cross compare it with XRP and BTC, XRP and Ether, whereas some were actually asking if we can directly do Chainlink, LTC and other assets. So I thought we'll actually go live so I can actually see what my viewers are actually looking at. If they actually say like they actually want to look at this particular asset, we can actually do that. So I'll try checking here. Hi Rick, hi. Sorry, I'm a bit laggy here in this live stream mode because, as I just told, this is my first attempt. I don't even know whether this will be successful or not, but I'll try my max to keep up with you guys. Now at the same time, before jumping in to the technical analysis, I actually saw one recent article and I was really surprised. Like, it was really stating like XRP is gonna be out of circulation by November 2020, and I was like, I was scratching my head literally. I was thinking, how can this be possible? Because they were actually directly, it's a scientific literature which is funded by universities, and they are actually literally showing here that Ripple's XRP may be taken out of circulation from the market by November 2020. And I was literally like, what will that be happening, and what are they actually looking at? Why are they stating this? What is the background knowledge? What was the scope of the research? So I actually went through the article. Then I understood like the direction of the research is not that accurate. Like, being a researcher myself, I'll say the parameters or factors which they analyzed to reach a conclusion like this is not that valid. Because, say, yes, I was really surprised as they were doing all the analysis, and at the end stating that according to the results, they think that Ripple is going to be out of circulation by November 2020. Now I was really surprised. But when we actually go into their methodology, what they did, how they did, I think it's not fair. Because, say, they were actually looking at the number of search, and they showed that the search actually spiked during this particular time frame. Now we'll just read what they have actually written. As it can be seen in figure 2, Ripple's XRP, which started to be traded in January 2015, reached the highest number of searches in January 2018, and then it started to decrease. When the quadratic equation is solved, it can be expected that the number of searches of Ripple's XRP will decrease to 0 by November 2020. Now this is completely bullshit. Yes, I agree, they are researchers, they are doing their research, but how can they just check the Google search and say that a coin, an asset which has this much of partnership, is gonna be out of the market? I don't think that's anyway true. But yes, they're actually comparing it with other assets as well. Like for Bitcoin, they've actually used this particular chart, used its R-square value to analyze the equation, and once they solve the quadratic equation, they actually kind of reach in this conclusion for Bitcoin. Like, according to the figure, the number of searches for Bitcoin reached its highest value in December 2017. After this point, although it fell for a while, it started to increase again since April 2019. Therefore, we don't foresee that Bitcoin will be out of circulation in short term. This is shit. Even though, I don't know, I'm not directly offending the author or the university or the journal which it published, but I'm kind of confused why they are talking like this. An asset which is being traded all over the world, you, me and many others are actually on this asset, right? They are having this asset and they are holding on to this asset, they're trading it. Many do day trading for this asset, so I don't think that's actually going to happen. Now anyway, I'll just actually check if I have any requests from my viewers, my friends, my community. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm just checking the message. I'm new to this one, so Hi Paul, hi Gurnath, hi Paul. Out of FOC, bro, out of FOC? I don't actually understand. XRP, XLM, if you get around it, thanks. That's by Dante Tapia. Sure, buddy, sure. I'll actually go to XRP and XLM first, as Dante requested. This is XRP, right? So this is on a daily time frame. So we'll first go through hourly time frame to see how it's actually doing as of now. Because in the morning when I did my video for the day, we were actually discussing about an Adam and Eve pattern, which I thought it was being played out at that time, because when I was looking at that, you see this Adam and Eve pattern, for that time frame it was actually working. Now that's a bit of delay for my computer, I'm sorry about that, but when I see this, I thought it was really playing out, but it kind of actually faked out on me. This was the top of that Adam and Eve. As you can see, it went up, it stayed about there for some time, and then it came back. So now in the shorter time frame chart, I'll say that it's not valid now. We can say that we can rule out that possibility, but still this rising wedge or the pennant pattern is kind of moving to the upside. But when we follow that close enough, we can actually see that it actually went below that, tried the resistance once, tried to come back in, then again it couldn't, and it's kind of going to the downside now, but it is holding on to the horizontal resistance line here. If you can see that, if we plot that kind of correctly, now yeah, this will be like horizontal support resistance area. Say we connect the top here, so that is the resistance here, then the support here, and the support here, the resistance here. So in that area we can kind of make a support resistance zone. For better visibility, we'll make that into lighter color. So in this one we can actually see that the price is currently coming back or dipping into this support resistance area in a shorter time frame. So if we don't come below this, we can expect a pump back up, but keep in mind that this entire pattern here is actually bearish. So once it is actually playing out, like if this is actually playing out like this, then it should actually move to the downside. Now yes, when we are coming in our first live stream and pointing out to the possibility that the price may come down till here, I don't know how many of you guys will like it or not, but I personally think that this is a probability, and I'm actually waiting and trying to increase the dry powder or the dollars which I have in my hand to try and accumulate at this area. Now at the same time, that's in a shorter time frame, right? If we actually go into a longer time frame chart for XRP, as we have stated previously, if you look at that, you can see this is the first resistance area here, and the next resistance area lies here. So if we actually connect this and draw a pattern here, you can actually see that this is the resistance, this is the resistance, this is the resistance, this is the resistance, and this area the price actually went into that zone and came back below and got supported at that area. So this is kind of a valid support resistance area in a longer time frame. But yes, if we have to get a validation for that, the price needs to come here. But as of now, we can only see that the price has visited this bottom once and this bottom again in this cycle. So that makes this area much more valid. If we actually plot that line to the upside, see, we can see that this area again is acting as a support resistance. So this becomes a big support resistance area. You can see the price being resisted again and again here, and it was acting as a support here. Now at the bottom we are getting the bounce. So if we are dipping below this area, that is, say, not dipping, getting a complete close, say of a daily candle or a weekly candle, then that will be a validation that the price is coming down to around 0.6 or into this area. But if we are just wicking like this, if we zoom in to get a bit more clarity, if we zoom in, we can see that on that particular day when we actually came this low, we just wicked off, right? Then we slowly came below and then went to the upside. So just removing all those, and we'll just put in the RSI and a couple of moving averages. Say for example, we'll use 50-day moving average and 200-day moving average. So this is the 50-day moving average, and for its visibility, what I'll do is I'll just make the line a bit thicker, and I mostly use red line for 50-day moving average. We'll change that to 50 up. Yep, okay. Now in the style, we'll just increase the thickness of the line. So there you go, that's the 50-day moving average. And as we can see, the price on a daily time frame went towards that side, the upside, and it was resisted by the 50-day moving average, and currently it's flirting with that level and being kicked to the downside. Now say if we are adding the 200-day moving average, of course the 200-day moving average should be higher than the 50-day moving average based on the current price fluctuation. So yeah, when we are plotting that, there is a bit of delay. The computer is not that high quality, but it's not that bad quality too. Still, I think it's actually working fine. Oh yeah, I actually forgot to check the messages, how my viewers are responding. If there are some technical glitches like this is not technical, this is human, but still, I don't know how to manage both the charting and the messages. If there is any option to see, say for example, the messages which I'm receiving here in YouTube in my side, if you guys know, then please do let me know how to take that, because as I said, I'll have to actually come back here, check what they are saying. If anyone is requesting something more, something different charts, then only I can actually do that. Okay, so as far as now, I'm seeing a couple of messages from D Daniels, Adam, hi buddy, hi, thank you for coming in and tuning in. So yeah, as of now we are only asked to go through XRP and XLM, so we'll jump into XLM for now, because in the daily time frame for XRP, we can actually see that the price is being resisted at this level, and that level is also the previous support area, so currently acting as a resistance. If we draw the line here, say for example, this line was a previous resistance line here. So if we draw that previous support line, it's acting as a support now, but that's only one thing there. And if we actually extend that to this side, we get a mixed area, right? A support, a resistance, a support, a resistance. So that is the reason why whenever I do technical analysis, I used to say this to you guys: don't try to just put a line there saying it's the support, it's the resistance, because all the time when the price moves, it does have that standard deviation, that wicks. So if we want to account for all of those, we actually need to say, for example, if we look at this particular area, say we are zooming in, we are checking for an area where we have both resistance and support. Say for example, we have resistance here, we have resistance here, we were actually being supported here, we were getting a bit of support here. So this is kind of an area of support resistance for this particular line. Now that line itself is not complete, so we'll have to have an area like this. This should be kind of, if I actually delete this and make a rectangle highlighting the entire area, this area is now the support resistance area on a longer time frame, say a daily chart, one there. Now if we do the same, we actually get another one somewhere here, and currently, as we just discussed, we are somewhere just around that. So we don't have a confirmation as of now for XRP whether we are moving to the upside or downside, but when we actually plot the chart, we actually understand that the entire trend is bearish. We are actually moving to the downside. We get repeated confirmation that the price is moving to the downside. Why I say that? Because if you can see here we have a resistance. Say the price was being resisted, the same level was being support here. So now, yeah, if you're new to this channel and you're seeing technical analysis and you're saying technical analysis don't work, then I would like to highlight one thing. Now yes, most of my previous viewers actually know this. I actually made a call way back, say around March, early March or something, that the price, now yes, I didn't make that call 100%. The chart actually showed me that the price is gonna go around 0.11, but personally I thought no, that's not gonna happen. I thought it's gonna get supported around 0.17. Now why I was looking at that, I'll actually show you guys why I was looking at that. Say if we draw a pattern here, see this one is a head and shoulder which I'm trying to point out, and the target for that head and shoulder was actually completely in place. See, that was actually giving us an indication that the price was actually moving towards the downside. But as human beings, we make a lot of mistake, right? So we did that mistake here again. See, this was not perfectly horizontal, it was actually moving slightly like this. So yes, if we actually measure this particular head and shoulder here, when it broke to the downside, I remember the day we were actually discussing that the price is breaking to the downside, and I expect somewhere here, say point, because the previous support area was that, I was thinking that the price will be resisted in that area. I know it'll be supported at that area. I don't know why the chart is not going to that area. Okay, anyway, I'll just try to pop it out here and try to manage that. I think it kind of fits in, but yeah, this is correct. Now if we actually take that out and place it here, we will be surprised, right? You see, the price was actually going so low till 0.1, and when I did the same on that day, many of my viewers would have listened to that, right? If you're still watching this stream, you notice that we actually discussed the same on that day, that the potential is there that the price may actually go around 0.1. Now yes, as we know, most of the time these targets are achieved around 75 to 80%, and if we look at that, the price actually wicked till there. It was our mistake, or no, it's not our mistake, it's my mistake. I thought that price will be stopping somewhere here by this support level, without considering that in the longer time frame we do have supports here in this area, and we actually went till there or just below there, kicking out some of the stop losses. Now anyway, we'll just move on to the XLM chart, because okay, we'll first go to XLM USD, and in the meantime I just want to check what's happening here. If someone XLM going to be big too. Yes, brother, you did, Daniel. So I agree, XLM is going to be big too, but just the difference is, I'll actually show you the difference between XLM and XRP, and how it actually did during the last cycle and currently what it's doing. I know you guys can also see what I'm seeing here, but as a newbie for live streaming, this is, I'll try from the next time when I do the live stream, I'll actually try to do better. Okay, for this moment, when we actually looking at the chart of Stellar, there is a bit of difference from XRP and XLM, because it's been couple of days, not couple of days, being honest or being frank, it's been 1 or 2 weeks since I actually checked in for XLM. Because as you guys know, whenever I do the chart analysis, I put that in my video, I record it in and put it in the video. So last time, I don't remember when I did the analysis for XLM, but if we actually plot it correctly, it should actually match up with, you see, as many touches you can get on a single line, that is the we can say that's more valid. Say if here we get getting 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 touches, then that trend line is kind of valid. So if we are looking at this particular trend line, that is actually a bullish sign. That is a perfectly bullish sign. As of now, yes, we didn't break to the upside. We got a similar pattern to that of XRP for XLM. Now if you're a XLM guy, you'll say, you know, this is a similar pattern of XLM which is playing out on XRP. It's up to you on which side you are, but anyway, looking at this, we are currently holding on just above that line, but as I told you guys just 2 minutes before, we can't actually look at this as a line, just because if you see, you actually get a wicks like this, right? We can actually see a wick here, which is kind of the standard deviation at that area. So in order to get that, we can either draw one more line, say one inside and one outside, showing the standard deviations at the end of that area. Then we can actually understand the possibility, say if you are trading on a shorter time frame and you want to keep your stop losses. Now yes, previously 3 years before, I was also trading the market in that way, but after the 2017 bull run, I understood that if I'm doing the same, I'm missing a lot of gains. Say I trade when I'm awake, right? When I'm sleeping, I can't trade. So I didn't used to, I agree, during that time I was a newbie, but these were really looking worse for me. When I was looking at the charts 3 years before in crypto, I wasn't that kind of good at charting, but I was doing the forex. Anyway, we'll come back into the topic. So looking at this is Stellar on a 12-hour time frame, and we can see that the 50-day moving average is actually pointing to the upside here. So if we compare that with XRP, we'll just jump into a new tab and take XRP here. So in order to compare between them, we'll get a bit of idea. I'll again have to put that in here, so I'm sorry about that. But say for example, we just put in the 50-day moving average there, so we can see that on a 12-hour time frame how it's actually reflecting similar to that. Yes, as I told, there is a difference. Say XRP, for XRP, the price is actually coming down, and the moving average is 50-day moving average on a 12-hour time frame is above the price. And if you actually check for LTC, you can actually see an opposite thing. The price is above the 50-day moving average, which is actually moving to the upside. So that's actually a good news for as far as Stellar is concerned, because the moving average is pointing to the upside. So let's try putting in the RSI in it and see whether the RSI or CCI, you can actually use either CCI or RSI, because when I was trading forex, I was actually using CCI, that's commodity channel index. That also shows you, it's kind of a momentum indicator which shows you where the price is actually headed. If you actually see the RSI here, now it's actually not that much visible for me too, so I'll just try to change the color. We'll put that into red, make it a bit thick. Now that's okay, right? It's actually visible for me. Now yes, I'll again have to come back and see what you guys are informing me. So again, till where did we actually check last time? So it's Jao, so crypto 6 foot, hi brother. Baxton Bell, hi brother. Crypto 6 foot, I don't think so. Lows coming up. You can see Pitchfork sold XRP at $3 and brought it back at 15 cents. Wow, that's you're absolutely lucky if you have did that. Crypto 6 foot, congrats, you did that. But I couldn't, because yeah, I agree, I was there during that time in the market, but I didn't manage to do the same back then. Now when we are actually looking at Stellar in this area, we can actually, now this is getting a bit of confused, so I'll remove those lines and just check the overall trend. So for that, we'll just move into shorter time frame charts of Stellar. See, this is the shorter time frame chart of Stellar, and yes, we do have a difference here from that of XRP as well. Say for XRP, we were having a close movement here, and the price actually came below this, whereas for Stellar, we are currently above that line. Now if we plot that completely straight and look at the standard deviations inside, we can actually see that the price was actually respecting both of these levels, say this complete area, and it's actually moving to the upside. So that's not yet it was a bearish pattern until here, we can see that. At least if we put that in a horizontal perspective, see this line, if it is horizontal and acting as a resistance, this was moving towards a triangle. So if we delete this one, you'll get one thing more. See, for example, this particular pattern is actually a bullish pattern. If you can consider a measured move, you can actually take this out from here and place it here, and you can see that how exactly that played out. Now, technical analysis, I know many of them don't agree with that, but you can see that if you were following this pattern, you would have confirmed this pattern at this particular points, and when this pattern was being formed out, you can actually just take the measured move and put it out, and it actually kind of achieved. Most of the time it just do the 70 to 80%, and it did that. Now yes, this is a shorter time frame chart, that's 2-hour chart, so we'll actually move into 4-hour chart and see what's actually happening here. So in a 4-hour chart, that's actually a golden cross. Now yes, many of those guys say that golden cross in a 4-hour time frame doesn't actually matter much. Now yes, it's completely up to you what you believe, but I think whatever chart you are, different charts actually play out for different time frames, right? If you're trading for say 6 to 10 hours, or say maximum 1 to 2 days, you can actually use 1 hour, 2 hour, or not 1 hour, 2 hour, say 4 hour or 12 hours. If you are trading for say next 3 hours, 4 hours, you can follow the pattern in an hourly chart. But as of now, we can actually clearly see that we got a golden cross here. That's the 50-day moving average cross the 200-day moving average here. But we can't directly say that that's a bullish symbol, because we can just go back and see what happened previously here. Yeah, when the price crossed on the same time frame, 4 hour time frame, it crossed, it went up, it was being corrected, it was moving upside. So from the point of the cross till the upside, if we see, we got around 85% upside. So if we measure something similar, say around 80%, then yes, there is still a lot of room left for Stellar if in that perspective. See, still if you're buying in, I see around 60% of gains there. Now yes, that's only one case. We can actually go back and see if the same was happening in the previous areas as well. See, here we got a cross, but by the time it was coming back down again, here we got a cross and we moved a bit upside. So if we measure that price fluctuation after the cross, it was around 35%. So yes, it's kind of not bad situation for Stellar. That's still a buying opportunity there in 4 hour time frame. If I am to do a buy, I would have actually done it here. Or if I'm looking at buying now, I would be actually cross comparing the charts between 4 hour chart, 12 hour chart and a daily chart to see where we are. Now the easy thing to do for this, now usually this was actually being used by me in the forex. Now that's not my pattern, that's executed by various other experts, but Heikin Ashi chart actually gives you an easy understanding of where the market is moving. Momentum trading becomes a bit easy when you are using Heikin Ashi charts. Say for example, if you are tossing a coin, you get kind of 50% of chances whether you're predicting the right one or wrong one. But the benefit with the Heikin Ashi chart here is, say for example, you are just counting here, okay, you're starting, okay, the rule for Heikin Ashi when you're trading it, not investing. So Heikin Ashi is mostly used for trading the market. So when you're using Heikin Ashi to trade the market, the benefit which comes here is, say for example, you're starting here and you will only call what is today, you will call that's tomorrow. That for example, today was a red day, you will call the next day will be red. That means you will be a seller next day. If today is a green candle, buy day, you will be buying next day. So say for example, we are zooming in here, we just can understand how many times we are right, how many times we are wrong. So this is only for those who are trading. For those who are investing, you don't have to actually go into this. Say for example, we are starting here. Okay, today is a red day, so I'm calling sell for next day. It happens. Okay, then on the third day, I was wrong. Okay, cool. Now this day it's green, I'm calling green, I'm right. I'm calling green, I'm right. I'm calling green, I'm right. Then on the next day, I'm wrong. So again, I'm calling red, I was right. Then I'm wrong. Then I'm calling green, I'm wrong. I'm calling red, I'm right. I'm calling red, I'm right. So if you actually count the entire thing, you get around 70 to 80% of probability or odds if you're trading using Heikin Ashi chart. Now yes, it's not only that. When you're using Heikin Ashi chart, what you have to check is you have to actually put in one more indicator. Usually in the forex we use 20-day moving average and Heikin Ashi chart along with the MACD and CCI. So say for example, we are using 20-day moving average here, but usually we use 20-day moving average. I don't know actually how to this is actually new for me. Mostly I use the exponential chart, exponential moving average, EMA. Okay, yeah, right. We can actually go to the moving average exponential. So if we take EMA of 20 and make the same day, delete this moving average. Now we can actually see that the price, when the price is above the 20-day moving average and the RSI is pointing to the upside, that is kind of a buy signal for those who are trading the market for Heikin-Ashi chart. Now we'll just jump back into the candlesticks, the Japanese candlesticks. So in the Japanese candlestick, what we can see is the 20-day moving average is kind of acting as a support for XLM as of now. So as we discussed, it's kind of showing you a bullish pattern here. If we try to see the pattern forming here in the RSI, you can see that the price was actually moving to the upside, getting supported there, but now it just crossed to the downside. Now that is kind of a stop signal there. If you were just going to buy, you can just stop there, because the RSI on a 12-hour time frame is showing that it's just crossed. Even though the price didn't reflect that, now it's showing that you just crossed that. Now let me just see what's happening here. XRP squared. I didn't actually get that. I don't know whether the computer is slow or no one is watching. Many don't actually, this is a small channel, we are just starting out, so we don't have that much followers, and I don't know whether this is the right timing for me to do this, but still I wanted to try this out for my viewers, because many of them were asking for different charts which I were not usually doing in my videos. So that's kind of it for Stellar in a shorter time frame. We can actually look at the same on a longer time frame as well. See, if you're comparing Stellar on a longer time frame chart like this, we can just say, for example, take out the measured move or the actual move it actually did in the last cycle. See, this is the bottom, this is its peak, just below that. So if you actually look at that, the measured move is somewhere around 60 to 70% if we actually take out that particular bottom. Now yes, those who are actually watching me can actually understand this, right? If you're picking this bottom, you're getting 76,000%, and if you're picking somewhere here as the bottom, you're getting 60%. So that is like 16,000% in difference, right? So that's the reason majority of the time I'm calling to my friends and viewers that if you can average down here to reach somewhere here, then that's the perfect chance to buy into an asset when it is actually making those new lows, because in that area, even if you are trading it with leverage, your stop loss will be so low, chances are that you won't be taken out. But yes, trading with leverage is a risk, and I say if you are a holder, long-term investor in this asset class, don't do that. Just go into a normal buy position, have a normal buy in an exchange. That would be better. Now we'll actually just compare the same with XRP, and those who have actually watched my previous video actually knew that XRP actually did much better than Stellar in the last bull run. Excuse me. If we actually measure the move of XRP from its bottom of the last cycle till the top of the last cycle, we can actually see that the price actually went much higher than that of XLM. We just saw for XLM it was around 76,000%, right? So here for XRP, from its previous bottom to the top is above 140,000%. So that's kind of more than 140 to 100 times your money. But yes, that's when you are entering at this particular point. Say if you are entering it around somewhere here when the bear market is kind of over, because if you see here, this is the point where the price was dropping so damn drop here. For most of them they'll be actually thinking that the psychology is so low. Many of them will be saying it's gonna go to zero, so most of them won't be actually looking into buy there. So if the price is bouncing here, then consolidating here, many would be entering somewhere here. Only the smart money would have entered at this area, so they got that. So say for example you entered somewhere here, so what is the percentage which you are getting? 62,000%. So that's not bad when you're actually looking as an investment in a year. But considering the total price movement of 140,000%, you actually missed like 90,000% there. So personally, I'm actually looking for XRP to come down somewhere here, and if it actually does come down somewhere there around 0.1, I'm really happy to buy in more. Because when we look at this pattern, yes, I believe it has played out, it's completed, because we already reached around 70% of that measured move. I don't think we are gonna move much lower just based on that pattern. But if we're actually looking at what is happening with the XRP price now, say for example this particular pattern, as I showed you in the morning video, we are actually getting this, which is kind of a bearish wedge here. And yes, even though the 20-day moving average is coming closer to that of the 50-day moving average, I'll zoom in so that it's clear for you guys. This is the 20-day moving average, and the red one is the 50-day moving average. So the purple and red is showing you that it's gonna come cross, and maybe it's gonna have a cross. But still, what you have to look here is it hasn't done that. So the chances are most of the time it'll come close, then 20-day moving average will bounce back down, and that's the time when usually the price drops. Now yes, this is on a daily time frame, and if we put a MACD here, this is not the McDonald's, right? If it was really good. Anyway, just trying to put a joke out, and I'm not that good on joking, so you know. Anyway, this is the MACD here, and yeah, the similar thing is actually playing out here. What I told you guys here is that the 20-day moving average is coming close to the 50, and it may bounce. And by bounce, I mean something like this. Say for example, this is coming near here, and it just bounced, and it just bounced, right? And whenever it is bouncing, if you see, the price movement is so volatile. If you see, it was coming near, and it bounced here, and the price movement you're getting here, that was so volatile. So in that aspect, if we are doing the same, that's gonna be something better. But on a daily time frame, currently we are on the upside, like this. So for example, if we are to bounce here, we'll get a volatile movement like this. So for example, we were kind of pointing to the downside here and just bounced. If you see here, zoom in here, you'll understand that was a bounce there. And if we look at the previous cycle, we were actually coming to the downside, we bounced there, you can see that bounce there, and you look at the price, what it did, it actually went through the 20-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, then corrected back above the 20-day moving average, or the 20-day moving average acted as a support there and bounced. So if we are actually looking at that, the 20-day moving average actually crossed the 50-day moving average. That's kind of a golden cross, so in a shorter time frame. But as this is on a daily time frame, this kind of validates that much more. And then the 20-day moving average went above, crossed even the 200-day moving average, giving a higher high there. So yes, when majority of guys are stating on a longer time frame chart like this, we are getting the, okay, for example, I'll just remove the RSI from here, we'll just keep the MACD as of now. And if we actually look at the MACD for a 3-day, and we'll look at the weekly and monthly to understand what is the chances that it's gonna go up. That is actually a good thing. I actually missed that in the morning video. I'm sorry for you guys. I should have actually bought somewhere here. You see this cross here? After the cross, it was a bit slow, but then it bounced. So it bounced till the 200-day moving average, and if you actually measure, we are kind of down from the moving average around 40%. So whenever the price is so low from the moving average, say around 30-40 times, this actually moves, you can actually at least expect the 40% move to the upside. So with that, and the MACD getting a positive cross to the upside, that's actually a positive news. Now yes, I'm personally expecting that in at least 2 to 3 weeks the price may come down, but you know, we don't have that magic bowl, right? So we'll have to rely on the technical. So this is 3-day chart pointing us that this time it can actually have a bit more momentum, because here when we were crossing, we were still somewhere here at the bottom, whereas here when we are crossing, we already came a bit up. So if we actually measure that move from the bottom of the wick till this area where we crossed, it's already 66%. And if we compare that for the previous time, say this is the bottom, so from the bottom till the time we crossed, we only did around 9%. So if we compare that, after the cross, it went around 77 percentage. And if we consider this as the cross here, we can say if we compare say around 75 percentage, it should be around 32. Now yes, that clearly makes sense, because if we do that 70 percentage, right, it's actually coming near to that 200-day moving average. So if we are coming to the 200-day moving average, again it can act as a resistance. Now that is on a 3-day time frame. When we actually move into a weekly chart and look at the MACD, it's kind of going close towards that. But guys, this is kind of bearish. This is really bearish. How can I explain that? I'll show you. So for example, whenever we get a price movement like this, a sharp move and a slow correction to the upside, it usually moves to the downside. Now I'm not sure whether I'm right here or not, but my brain, as my brain is processing this, I see that the price is gonna come down. The chances are that the price will at least come here or make a new low based on this. So now why I say this, I'll try to zoom in and try to explain that. This is the mother candle, as we call. Okay, so in the general technical analysis area, you can consider this top of the wick and the bottom of the wick here as a mother candle, and these are all considered the small babies. Usually it actually comes slowly trying to test the top close or the wick area and then drops like a stone to the bottom. So in that case, I should be actually preparing my dry powder, the dollar, more to accumulate a bit more. Now if you want to understand that, it will be really easy in a bull market. Say for example, we can actually consider this as a drop, right? We actually came much down, then we went back till here, then again boom, we came down. So sometime it will be just one candle acting as a mother candle. But if we actually consider this, sorry about that, if we actually consider this, we can actually move even higher, because this actually did it like zoom. It didn't have a break. Intermediate green candle was direct. So if we consider that this is the mother candle here, it went back up and then again it went back to a newer low. So the chances are high that we are going to make a new low or at least try that bottom. So if we actually want to see that, if you want to compare that here, you can actually get a lot of comparison, right? Say we actually came down here, went back a bit, then again went to the bottom. So on a weekly chart, the MACD hasn't actually crossed to the upside. We are still at the bottom. And when we zoom in, we can also see this, like it's not always directly going and crossing to the upside. You can see this. It went there, close, then it bounced. It went there, it bounced, then it crossed. So before it crosses to the upside, most of the time it kind of bounces 1 or 2 times. You can see here it bounced, and when it bounced, this is on a weekly, so the candle which you see here is actually played out really wildly on a daily time frame. See, if you actually measure this movement there, you can actually see that the price actually dropped around 17% with that just one bounce. So if we are gonna get that bounce here and this pattern validates coming downside, then if we look at that on a daily time frame, we can understand that the chances are that the price may drop for XRP. Now yes, I'm not an XRP hater, as you guys know. I own a lot of XRP, not that much, but at least considering my portfolio, majority is XRP. Previously it was around 85%, but now it's around 88%. I'm buying more XRP. So but at this point, if this is happening, or if it is coming a bit lower, then I think my portfolio will be 90% or more XRP if this happens. Now if we just for a comparison, we can do a check the BTC chart and check what BTC is doing, because you can see in Facebook, Twitter, where we are following the crypto, majority of guys will be stating that we are just following BTC, right? So if we actually follow BTC for that, we can actually see on a daily time frame BTC is also doing the same, or BTC is making the trend here. And if we look at BTC on a weekly chart, what we can see here is for BTC, it is actually way low in the MACD. So the chances are that BTC is gonna drop. as I told you in the morning's video, I think the chances are that it may reach here, because if we plot this line, see, this is the bottom of this particular low, right? This is a higher low. Previous low is here and this one is here, so that is actually a higher low. But still the pattern is kind of bearish. Why I say the pattern is kind of bearish? If you actually plot the resistance line, say this is one resistance, this is another resistance, this is another resistance. So if you are connecting all these resistance, you get a resistance zone like this. And if you are trying to put out support lines, you get it mostly like this. Now yes, we can argue that why can't we put it like this too? Yeah, so that's kind of the standard deviation which we were talking about previously. Now this is on a weekly chart, and what you have to see is that the yellow line is the 200-day moving average, and the price actually respected the 200-day moving average on this particular point. If you can see, I'll try to zoom in as much as possible, this area. And if you look at the MACD there, you can actually see that it was below and it kind of slowly crossed upside, and even after crossing to the upside, it moved really slow with a low volume, then it started bouncing. So if we are getting same here, then the pattern is becoming invalidated. That means if the 200-day moving average is acting as a support here too, then the chances are that we may actually go up and try this upper resistance area, which is around say 9,600, 9,700 area, and we may even wick like this a bit up. If there are stop losses set around here by the sellers, they will be kicked out. So the chances are that the 200-day moving average on a weekly may act as a support, and the 20-day and 50-day moving average is currently acting as a resistance. But if we even move into that range like this, that's kind of bullish news, because currently it did cross 20-day moving average, did cross the 50-day moving average to the downside, and that is a negative news. So if we actually compare, say, Ethereum's chart, and then we'll actually look at the XRP chart to BTC, because most of the time we are actually analyzing XRP with respect to US dollar, right? And as we know, the dollar is currently facing its own issues. It's going through its own war now. So we'll try to look at BTC, how it is actually behaving with respect to BTC. Now this is the Ethereum first, and yeah, it's most similar to that of BTC as well. There is no much difference. Only difference is being that the 200-day moving average is so high and the price is actually below the 20-day moving average, 50-day moving average, and even if we plot 100, 150, all the averages, the price is below that. So that makes it a perfectly bearish sign for me. Now yeah, my call can be wrong, but for me, I see this as a really bearish scenario, so that the price may come down around 90, 95, or this bottom previously, which is 80. But that's on a shorter time frame, right? If we are zooming in, say there's a logarithmic chart of Ethereum on a weekly time frame, and if we actually plot this, see, for example, this was the previous resistance, previous support here, and then from here the price actually bounced till the top here. Then from there we just corrected from this area to this point. From that area to here, the movement is kind of just being a correction. So if we see this, there's something like that. We went up, we corrected just below the moving averages, and then went to the upside. But here the difference is we actually came below the moving averages, went into the range of moving average, then came back again, went up, then came back again. But whenever we are coming down now, the lows are not lower lows, right? This one is a lower low here, but here these were actually not that low. Considering that, we are having higher lows here. This is the low, and we got a higher low. Now if you consider the close, it's kind of at the same area. It didn't actually went much lower. It's hanging on to the same area. So now we'll actually go to the XRP and BTC chart. XRP BTC chart. So this is the XRP weekly BTC chart on a weekly. Wow, that is so coiled up. That is so coiled up, guys. If you actually see something here and compare that with what's happening here, the price and the 20-day moving average. I'll just remove those. You can see the purple one here is the 20-day moving average, and the price was below the 20-day moving average and was kind of moving in a tight range that it was not making much of a movement. But when it actually made that movement, it just blasted to the roof. If you actually measure the move from the bottom till that particular point, it's kind of 1200%. Wow. So if we are to get that, that should be enormous. That means all season is somewhere near. You know, BTC may not actually go down. I'm not saying BTC is gonna go down, but you know, see, for example, if XRP is moving 2000% and BTC is moving 200%, in this particular chart, that's a blow up, right? The XRP has highly overplayed the BTC, so that's cool. So if you actually look at the same on a daily time frame, move in, zoom in and check what's the price doing on a daily time frame. Yeah, it is actually moving in a higher, tighter range. See this, we have resistance here, we faked out a bit, came back below into the range, went up to the resistance, wicked and came back lower. Then if you are a Wyckoff guy, you can actually see this as the price is coming down, making these lows, consolidating there, making a new high, coming back, and this can be considered as the spring of Wyckoff. Now, I was also using Wyckoff previously most of the time, but I got confused with two of its parameters, how it is formed. So I thought it's not 100% accurate. We can say it gives around 60 to 65% of odds. So say this is, if this is the spring of that Wyckoff pattern, then that may indicate that we can go to the upside, because this is on a daily time frame and we can actually see that the 20-day moving average has actually crossed to the upside. The 50 is going down, but the 20 is actually moving to the upside. So there is a potential that 50 may slowly curve to the upside, but we can actually see a lot of volatility here, right? If you zoom in and see, there is a lot of volatility. You can see the price being wicked here, again wicked here, again here, here. So all over the price is being volatile like a 5-minute or 10-minute chart, because usually in Forex or even in crypto, we used to get these wicks on a 5-minute or 10-minute charts. But now for BTC XRP, we are actually getting that. So if you actually zoom in, say on a 4-hour time frame, we can actually check what XRP is doing. This is actually better. So for example, previously we were below the moving averages, then here we went above the moving average, came back into the moving averages, and now we are actually bouncing to the upside. We are maintaining above the moving averages. So unless we come below this, that means that the potential is still there for the price to move above. So if we try to analyze that, say for example, we'll actually try to connect that with the say this is the trend being formed in MACD. Wait. If we are crossing to the downside here, then whatever I said here is gonna become invalid in next, this is a 4-hour chart, say next 18 to 24 hours, it may come below this moving average and change the trend as bearish one, or just consolidate like this but fluctuate in a bearish manner. But if we are to bounce from here, that actually gives the XRP BTC pair a bit more room to go to the upside. Now, yeah, I actually forgot to actually go back, check the comment section here. Now I'm really confused. What am I doing? XRP 50 cents in May, crypto 6 foot. May, that's next month, right? Or June. So the chances for that, we'll actually see. If we actually want to analyze that in May, we can actually look at the chart and say, for example, we'll just go directly into the XRP USD chart and see what are the possibilities for that. At least we should be looking at the chart on a 12-hour time frame or a daily time frame to analyze that. But yes, for being frank with you guys, predicting a time frame which is like 1 or 2 months ahead is kind of not difficult, it's kind of impossible. But yes, that's based on my ability, right? I'm only here in the technical analysis area from last 4.5 years, around 5 years, so there are experts there, but I don't think anyone can actually predict the time as they say. Now that's not to offend any one of you. I actually, these are our own perspectives. See, I can actually call for August, September, October. That's not the accurate call made, but from the chart analysis which we have done previously, considering the total time frames, I personally think that it won't be now I'm not actually talking about the movement to 0.5. We're actually talking about the price fluctuating much more. Say for example, like a bull run, start of a bull run. If we are looking at the beginning of a bull run, for example, I'm just going to take that MACD out here, because I'm going to look at the price fluctuations. I'll take out the moving averages. I'll keep the volume. Okay, I'll even take out the volume as well. Now if you actually look at this, say we'll actually measure the days, just the date range. Say this is the start of that cycle, this was the end of that cycle. Now yes, many have actually seen this previously when I did it in one of my video. So if you see this, it as a cycle, and look at that 1299 days. So we'll take 1299. Okay, accurate. It's somewhere here, right? So if we plot that vertical line there to see what date it is, it's 27th September. So if we are actually following the same pattern, then this should start a new day or a new cycle by September 27. But the chances are like we have a lot of difference, right? So for example, in this cycle, the first pump up high was the peak of that cycle, whereas here the first pump was not the peak, it was the second pump. So if we actually measure, say from the second pump to the start of the next cycle, I think I did something wrong. I'm sorry about that, guys. We'll just go again, pick up the red date range and go till here. Here we get 800 days. Now that is 800 days from the lowest peak. Now the confusion comes in, like this is the second top. If we take the second top in this cycle, this is the area, and if we actually plot that 811 days, we have already crossed that, right? We just crossed that because that is somewhere around 25th of March. And if you guys watch that video, I was talking like there is a possibility that we may start something by the end of March, but we didn't, right? But yes, I actually told you guys that is a limited probability. The main probability for XRP moving upside, as far as I see, is starting from August, September, October of 2020. Now why I say that? Because if we again look at this, say this is the peak of the cycle, peak of this cycle, and plot it till the end, we kind of get 1188 days. So if we actually plot the same from the peak of this cycle, that actually take us so long, right? Till 2021 February, March, yes. So that is 1188 days. The computer is a bit slow. Okay, say somewhere here. So that is 2021 April. So the time frame which we can actually expect a bull run is something like this for XRP. Say if you can see this here, that is the bottom here. Say the 27th September 2020 this year to 7th April 2021. So that is actually a long time, right? But if you're being an investor here, that won't be much as a time frame. Say for example, you get a lot of time now to buy in. So if you are looking to buy in as much as possible, then that won't be actually an issue for you, right? So we'll actually try to take out another indicator here. Say for example, we'll take the measurement from the bottom of the cycle here and plot it, because that actually gives us so long time frame. Even I used to think, if this is gonna play out, then I'll run out of my patience, because that's like 1000 days after the bottom. So if we actually say this is the bottom, at this point we can't say that, because we actually made a bottom here, right? So if we actually take that out and plot it ahead for 1000 days, that is gonna be so lengthier. It's gonna be like reaching into 2020, mid 2020, late 2020. Many of not you guys, many of us will actually have issues if the price is going to do that after that. But if we actually take all these out and look at the price like this, so for example, if we did this, then that would have been effective. Say we came up, then we came back below, just an up and down, then we consolidated all the way through here. So if we were actually doing this, then we could have actually expected that 1000 days or more in terms of that. But if we actually say, for example, you're looking at this from the bottom, it actually went to the upside, but here at least this is the bottom, right? It started from here. So if we are considering that, then the price actually moved till here, from this point till here. Now that doesn't actually make real sense, because if we are looking at here, the low here was same to the starting point. So in order to make that, we'll have to come back all the way back to around 0.005, and I personally don't think that that's gonna happen, because we have a hell lot of support area above here around 0.03 to 0.06. then it won't be actually possible. Because say for example, if the price is actually dropping to that low, you'll buy, I'll buy, and majority of us will be buyers in this area. So the price is not gonna come down here, and when we are expecting the price to come down here, I don't think the price will actually do that, because most of the time it happens the other way. If you actually look at some of the articles which I'm actually going through just before coming online, that's XRP for high, very high. Now just a second, I thought I actually loaded everything up, but now the Twitter feed and others are actually hanging out on me. Now that is actually crazy. Maybe I'll actually opened up all of these. I'm using the OBC software. Maybe that'll take a bit of time. So in the meantime, okay, one just got loaded up. So this is a news article. This is actually showing you that a Ripple community receives uplifting news. Now yes, that's today's news. Come on, I didn't actually mean to change it, but the topic just went off. Okay, we'll just jump back in the chart because it is taking some time. Now I actually don't want to waste the time here, but just wanted to see what you guys were actually saying, if there is any new opinion to take out any new chart. Come on, this is taking a bit more time. Okay, anyway, let it respond. So in the meantime, I'll actually go through Chainlink, the chart of Chainlink, because some of my viewers were actually asking me to do technical analysis of Chainlink to US dollar. So as I didn't do anything for Chainlink, say last couple of months, it's also new for me too. So I'll actually try to open up a Chainlink chart here, and we'll try to go through Chainlink chart on a daily time frame, hourly time frame, and see what's actually happening. Okay, say this is the chart of Chainlink. If we actually plot the support resistance zone for this, we get a bottom support here and the top one somewhere here. And if we are looking at that, the price is kind of respecting those levels, and it is still moving to the upside. So if you look at this, we got kind of a trend here. The price actually broke to the upside, went there, and if we are looking at it now, we can see that we are is this a double top there? Then that's actually a bad news here. Okay, anyway, if we are plotting the resistance line, at least we just moved above that. See, for example, we were being resisted here, and here we just moved above that in one candle, and we are currently holding above that. So the chances for Chainlink to retest this area is kind of looking high for me. Say for example it is here, so there is a potential chance that the price can actually move around 30-36%, or it can even wick like this or this, just below that or just above that. So that's like 30-40% fluctuation is still possible for Chainlink. Now at the same time, what you have to think is this low is higher, this low is higher than this one, this low, the close, if you actually connect this, you actually get this, like the trend is actually moving to the upside and it is actually making a new higher highs there, a new higher lows there. So that is actually showing that the underlying strength is there. So if we want to check out that one, what we can do is we can actually put out the strength in this, that is the RSI. And if you want, we can actually also use the MACD. See, wow, in the RSI we are actually traveling to the upside, we are above 50. So most of the time we can consider that 50 range is neutral. So if we are above 50, we can consider that as a bullish stance there. So here in a 3-day chart, it's actually bullish. So if we move in to look at what's happening as of now, say we'll use a 4-hour chart of Chainlink and see what's reflecting there. So in the 4-hour chart of Chainlink, wow, you can see a similar pattern here, which is similar to that of XLM here. So if we look at that, we can see that this is kind of having a bit difference from XRP, because for XRP it actually wicked lower, then we had a higher low, whereas here we wicked here and we made a low afterwards. So that is kind of giving you a trend validation that it is moving to the upside. If we plot the line, it is still holding on to that support line in the RSI. So if we are moving to the upside, it is similar to that of XLM, because we were actually getting a wedge or pennant like this and then we broke to the upside. Now we are making new highs for this time frame. So the chances are that we are tackling this resistance line here. Say this was a resistance, this is a support, so that makes this a valid support resistance area. So if we zoom out, you can actually see this area is previously having a lot of resistance here. So this is the overhead resistance which is expected. So if we are to get a bit of volume here, we may actually pump that 30-40% upside for Chainlink. Now we'll actually compare LTC chart, what is happening, because in the last bull run, not the actual bull run, say the altcoin season, LTC kind of led the pack. It actually went up from the bottom and it took kind of entire altcoin market along with it. Then it was the Ethereum moving from this area when I was actually watching this. See, for example, I was on a double thought whether I should buy this at this area. Not this particular area, I was not that good at that timing, but I bought some here around 30, 35, 40 area. Around 40, I bought more, yeah, around 40 area. So from 30 to 40 I bought some. Then I was not that accurate on the timing and I sold somewhere around 80, 83 area I sold some, and then around 88 here, 88 I sold almost all the LTC, and I was like, it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down, but it was going up. But I actually resisted my temptation to buy more because I knew that this is going to be a bounce like this and it may come back down. So for LTC, if you are looking, it's like similar to that of other coin like Ether. The bottom is here, then you had a higher low, then you're making a low there, but comparing this one, this is again a higher low. Now if you actually move in closer to that of LTC, it's kind of similar to that of Ether. I think it's similar to that of Ether because we no, it's kind of similar to that of XRP. We're kind of having this, we broke below that. So if you remember XRP USD chart on a 12-hour and 4-hour chart, we can actually see a similar pattern. We were actually moving to the upside. If you plot the line here, you'll get same to that of LTC. Say for example, if you draw it like this, we are currently just below that. The 50-day moving average came below that. The 20-day moving average crossed to the downside, so that's giving a negative impression there. Now this live stream, I don't know how well it is doing, because as I told in the initial stage, this is my first live stream here, so I don't know how many viewers I'm getting here. Yeah, looking at this, it's not that high, it's low, but I respect all those 42 guys who are actually watching this right now, supporting the channel and putting in your opinion. So how can I actually, come on, my computer is coming kind of dying on me, and I really hope to upgrade this one. This is actually an i5 8th generation system, but it was actually working kind of fine, but I would just open a lot of browsers here along with the OBC. Okay, so that is boom, we wait since 3 years. It's just going to boom sound from backside. Buddy, I don't know where you're from, but looking at your name, I think you belong to Asia itself. Now I'm from India, and there is no offense, guys, no offense to him. You know, it's his experience, what he is actually sharing. Say, I was also in the same market from last 3 years, right? So for me, I consider this as an educational phase. And I was in the market before the market pumped, and yes, I made a little bit of profit, not that much, but still I made some profit when the market was actually going to the upside. Then it started crashing, and at that time, as I was a newbie, I was kind of taking my profit, then buying again, taking my profit, buying again on a daily basis, weekly basis. I was enjoying the ride till around 3.5. Then I thought, 3.4. I bought some positions around 3.4, and after some days it started falling. Patch. It came down to where it is now. But what you have to think is, my average at that time was about $3.4, right? Now I've been successful to average it down till 0.16, and I'm really happy about that, because yes, even though I have positions around 3.4, if the price just bounce 0.16 or above, I'm in green now. So those guys who are shouting out like this, the sound from the backside, I don't care, because it's up to them whether they have to dollar cost average their portfolio and come down. And say if the price even goes around 0.2, it's in green, right? The entire account is in green. So for me, currently my entire account is in green. So I'm not losing any money. Yes, I agree, waiting for last 3 years, that's not the profit which I want. So that's the reason I'm invested heavily in XRP, because I know the potential of the asset. I know where it is actually going. So now I'm actually trying to open up these files which I've actually loaded previously, because if I can open these files up, I'll try to deliver it on. Clear your history and cookies if you are using Chrome. Oh my god. Okay, I'll actually respect the opinion of Crypto 6 Foot. I'll try to clear the history of Chrome, because I was actually using both the Chrome and Firefox. The charts were actually opened on Firefox here, and I was going through the charts here, and it was not that bad. It was actually working fine, but the Chrome kind of is making this entire thing bad experience for my viewers. I'm really sorry about this, guys. I didn't actually mean to make this like this, but buddy, Crypto, I have a doubt. If I clear the history, will these actually load again? Yeah, these are open, right? So I just have to refresh the page. So let me try. I'll just clear the history here. Even the history is dying on me, guys. That's a bad thing. Here it's in South Korea. It's currently 9:25, and usually I'm not that late guy. I come after my university around 6:37. Then as now my family is now with me. They're in the home country back in India. So I used to sleep a bit early, because I get my call from my wife and the newborn baby boy around 9:35, 10 o'clock, and I think they will be actually trying to reach me now. But This is not that good, guys. This is not that good. I don't think wasting you guys your time is that important as of now. So we'll just go through some of the charts again and try to actually clarify what's actually happening. Even the history page is dying on me here, so I think it's better just to jump back into the charts. I thought even the charts were actually dying on me. This is actually bad. I can't actually see what you guys are messaging now. If you're actually asking for something else, I'm really sorry. I'll actually do compare Ethereum and BTC. Say Ethereum and BTC in ETH BTC pair. Now even the Chrome is dying on me, guys. Really. That's not that good for the first live stream. Okay, at least something's working now. So I'll try to put out Ether and BTC pair, and let's see how Ether to BTC pair is actually working with respect to a comparison with XRP. So if we're actually comparing XRP BTC and Ether BTC, this is on a log scale, on a daily time frame, and when we zoom out, no, XRP is doing much better in BTC pair, guys. XRP is doing much better. Yes, even though the price is actually making higher highs here, I mean higher lows here for Ether BTC pair. If we actually draw a line there, we get something like this. See, it's not accurate because my system is kind of getting hangy now. We're making kind of higher lows here, but still that's not much better if we compare it with the XRP BTC pair, because XRP BTC pair for I believe we checked on a daily time frame, right? It was really coiled up. So if we get a break to the upside, that will be like boom, it can actually rocket in that terms. But when we actually compare that with XRP USD pair, we can see that the XRP is actually at the bottom. We actually came to the bottom here around 0.1. We actually went back up. Now yeah, there is no much update when we are actually looking at a higher time frame chart when doing a live stream. But when we actually zoom into an hourly chart, say this is a 1 hour chart of XRP, and in this one we can actually see that currently the price is actually moving to the downside. This was the previous low, now we are actually making a lower low. So I thought someone actually stated that in the comment section there, we are making lower low, and I now agree that we are making lower low here. If we actually plot the line here, see this was the previous trend which we were actually following, but now we broke below that. And I thought when we started the stream here, we were talking that the price is going to go down because we retested this, and now we are actually moving to the downside. We are waiting here, and the horizontal support here is kind of holding for the moment. So if we are to break down here, then we can actually expect to buy back around say 0.1, yeah, this area 0.16 to 0.15 area should be a buy, best buy that case. Now let me again try. Okay, at least one article is coming up with, let me see if I can actually go through them. So this is an article which is actually showing that we are living some pretty strange days, and these times will probably be remembered as biggest crisis of our generation. Our life are drastically changing, and there's little chance that they will ever go back to where it was. Now that's like all related to that pandemic and all, but when we are actually looking at this, the ecosystem is actually growing in such a way that we are making new ideas, right? We are making new partnerships now. In this is based on one of a previous video in which a woman from US were actually stating that US Navy is actually working with Denmark on a human chip, say a biochip, which can be implemented on a human body, and they are expecting that this is going to be done with comparison to or integration to Ripple, the platform. So it's not like XRP, the platform, XRP Ledger, they were actually talking about a Ripple net. So if that is actually happening in reality, that's positive news. But we don't know for sure, but when we listen to an individual like that who has that kind of investing background, it looks like there is a possibility that it may play out. Now, I actually had some of the posts loaded up here previously. I'm trying whether we can actually load those up, and if it is possible to load those up, we can actually discuss through that. The Twitter is kind of slow, but it's kind of now loading up. Now the stream, I think, is going too long, right? It's already been around 1 hour or more. But I just want to go through all of these information which I've loaded up, and we'll end that there. And if possible, if the Chrome is not dying on me, I'll actually try to see if anyone has requested anything more in terms of chart analysis. Say if they are asking something more, I'll for sure I'll extend the time frame. I don't care. I'll actually go through that chart as well and then come back to this. So this is from I'm Legion. He's actually showing you that Seagate is actually gonna own 4% of a Ripple. Now, if you actually see that Seagate Technology may own over 4% of Ripple, that is actually big news. We can say that it's going to be a big news because Seagate Technology is like a data storage. So if we are considering that, as of now, many banks and great institutions are coming ahead for custody services. So if custody services are being provided by storage guys, they already have the equipment and the infrastructure to build that. So for them, it's going to be so easy. So buying into this will be actually cool. Now, we also have to consider that this news is way back, right? It happened around Jan to 8, 2018, and it was just after that bull run or by the end of that bull run. So what you have to understand is most of the time these news actually come out to the mass media on the time when the price is going to go down. So if we are getting all these positive news now and the price is not moving to the upside, many may actually ask what the hell is actually happening with the price. Don't worry guys, during a bear market, whatever good news you get actually doesn't matter. Until we move into a bullish market, we don't actually get those kind of price movements. So this is another tweet from Wrath of Kanman. He's showing no new news here. SCB's 2017 annual report is out, and it's actually a big file. I actually went through that and my system was dying on me. But the overall thing is that SCB is trying to use liquidity solution, so that directly kind of point out towards XRP. Now this is from Stephen Bull from DAPE, and he's actually showing this one. Now that article is actually a bit big. If you actually load in this kind of a crop view, we had actually a bit more information there, but this is something which we actually kind of get in a previous video discussion with Western Union chief there. So they are actually contesting and considering Ripple's XRP for their cross-border payments. As you can, if you actually compare Western Union's current fee for cross-border payments and MoneyGram and others, you can actually see that they're actually competing really tight basis. Now say the corridors where XRP is active, say for Mexico, Philippines, Australia, the prices are really competitive provided by MoneyGram, and in order to stay relevant in that bucket, Western Union has reduced their fees. If you want to compare that, you can actually do that. It's so easy. Just go into the site of MoneyGram, select the corridor which you want to send the money, and do that. It's easy. Now this is another news from Crypto Potato, and it's actually showing Binance Exchange launched Bitcoin options on the Binance Futures platform. So new options on Binance Futures launched. So we are actually getting new contracts based this. Now what this does is it's like a side bet, I'll say. Now in my opinion, this is a side bet. It's not actually directly reflecting the price of the asset, whereas it's kind of a side bet. Say a match is going on, say whether it's cricket, football, and if it's legal, you can do the side bets, right? You're not directly affecting the match, but you're trying to make money sitting in the sidelines. This is another one. Now these are the scientific articles which I've actually previously loaded up based on XRP and XRP Ledger. And when I was reading through, that was the time I actually saw this article, and I was really surprised. As I stated to you guys in the initial, that was really surprising for me to see that Ripple's XRP is gonna be taken out of the circulation from the market by November 2020. And just reading their abstract, I was surprised. But the conclusion for that is it's not relevant. At least for me as a researcher, professional researcher, I don't consider their methodology as sound enough, because they're just looking at Google searches and saying this the search is going to go out by this time, and that's not be the asset is not going to be relevant by that time. Now here, this is a summary of the entire study, and here they are actually stating that technical analysis of investing securities of a Ripple XRP. Now you have to actually understand what they are stating here. They are stating investing in securities of a Ripple XRP. Now that kind of doesn't make any sense, but this was issued back in 2018. XRP is a digital currency used in payment network for all transactions, reducing time, saving money, cross-border payments, blah 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 blah. We all know that. The analysis period lasted 1 year observations, and come on, what kind of a summary is this? Anyway, this is another one of XRP Ledger. So guys, this is just a basic thing. There are being research which is being funded by different universities, different research institutions, to see how the payment solutions are working. Because they know that the payments market is so big. If you consider the entire payment, I'm not just talking about the digital payments, I'm talking about the entire payments, because in a few years from now, there won't be a difference between digital payments and payments. Payments would mean digital payments by that time, because governments are coming out with their central bank digital currencies. So automatically this $450-500 trillion market will be actually so competitive, because if you actually see the integration with online payment providers, you can actually see the name of XRP Ledger being stated there, and they're actually talking about transactions being settled there, considering that the ALV transactions are settled in real time on XRP Ledger. We have perfect technical conditions for payment providers to include ALV as a payment method in their solution. So based on these researches, most of the researches are actually done for private organizations to validate what they're going to do, because in the say for the client meetings and all, they actually need valid research data to state that these are actually happening and this is the way we are going ahead. So in that aspect, we can actually see that this is coming ahead and it may happen. Now there's another article showing that what is Ripple, how is it working, and it is comparing with other systems as well. If you are looking here, the system allows transaction in US dollar, euro, yen, pound, Bitcoin, Ether, LTC and XRP. Now that is about the general XRP ledger. Now I personally think we don't have to actually go through all these documents. That doesn't make much sense for you guys, because I usually actually read through all of this to get that knowledge, background knowledge mostly. And I was checking whether there is any new updates for that, and I actually reached this article, which was actually a new article. Say it came on 2020 here. So the changing concept of money, a threat to monetary system or not. Now as we know that this is 2020 and European Business Organization is actually publishing this. So when you're actually looking that to explain these phenomena and analyze the effect of new developments on the financial system, several clarifications are needed. The article discusses the traditional concept of money. Now what you have to think is they are now saying traditional concept of money, the physical cash as we know, the different type of central bank and commercial money including e-money, and contrast them with new, mostly unregulated type of digital coins. So the e-money was like PayPal or something which we were used to previously, and now they're trying to talk about unregulated types of digital coins, and that's the area where Ripple stands out. We are regulated now, but yes, most of the countries haven't done that, so the regulatory clarity has to be there. Now it looks at the characteristics of Libra project, the biggest stable coin project in planning. So the issues with scientific literature is, say, it takes 1 to 2 years at least to get published if it's in a good peer-reviewed journal, say a Q1 Q2 level journal, or say Q1 top 10 level journal. Usually takes around 1.5 to 2 years. So say I'm writing a manuscript now and submitting it, they'll take 6 months or 3 months to review, then they'll give comments, I'll give it back, then again comments. So it actually continues like that and gets published in 2 years. So when they are considering that as a being in planning, yeah, it can be still in planning, but I think it's kind of a bird which was shot down previously. Now as the system is kind of reflecting to what I'm looking at, I can actually check the messages. Your laptop, it'll run better, clear the history. Yes buddy, I was actually trying to clear the history here, and I actually went in, and the history is kind of loading in now. So if I can actually clear the history, I think then that would be better. But guys, I again have a doubt. If I'm clearing my history here, I think I'll be logged out from the YouTube itself, right? Come on, now I'm confused. Now I'm really confused with that. Okay, anyway, for this stream we'll do it like this, and from next time when I stream, what I'll do is I'll try to actually clear the memory at least to match up the pace. So as this is the extended stream, I don't think I'll be doing like this without much of a preparation. I was just actually thinking that we'll actually go through different type of charts as much as you guys request, because you know, once I was actually publishing my videos, I was actually getting in comments that I want to take in new chart. Say they were asking for Chainlink, they were asking for LTC, they were asking for XLM. So I was like, okay, I can do this, come in a live stream. If you're coming in and asking for XLM, I can do that for you, and so on. So yes, good job. Wait, thank you, Crypto 6 foot. I really appreciate, buddy, you're trying to help me out. Thank you for that. Now if we add 54, no, wait, I can't actually see anything. This message is held for review. What? I didn't understand. Waiting for the drop to buy more. Hakan Basser. Yes buddy, I think I'm also doing the same. Then Chainlink will boom. Yes, based on that chart, I think the at least 30 to 40% of chances to rise is there. Get an SSD. Yeah, my hard disk is HDD. I'm still old fashioned at least. We actually went through this, right? I bought at $22. LTC. Okay. So you are actually doing fine. Then yeah, there is no much update there. I'm sorry for taking you guys along with me through these messages, because you know, as I told, I'll try to actually learn much more about live streaming here. I'll just try to go through my Twitter feed and see if there is any new article from last 1 hour which I can actually share. Now this is actually from Digital Asset Investor. He's actually showing that Global Jubilee looms as G20 finalizes debt relief. Yeah, in the morning video we actually discussed about this, right? Those small countries which can't afford the repayment, they are actually trying to give them a relief of 6 to 9 months extension period. Thanks to developers of network, XRP Ledger today announced the launch of new upgraded version of its protocol. Okay, so now we are up for 1.6.0 B1 now available with new features for improvement. So they're actually improving it day by day. Now yeah, my Twitter feed is not exactly completely on XRP. There are something else too, so I think we'll just jump back, as I don't see anyone requesting for more charts. I think if I continue this like this, it'll be a waste of time for you guys, and you'll start kind of becoming angry. I understand, because I don't want to waste your time, as well as you know, time is money, so I don't want to waste your time. Crypto 6 food, you're doing great. Thank you buddy, thank you. So I think without clearing that, it actually kind of worked now. So I'll try to actually all time, not all time, last hour at least. So what if I do all time? Now I still have a doubt whether I'll get disconnected if I do the all time, so I'm not sure. But as I don't get any more request or suggestion for technical analysis, I think we can actually stop it for this stream here. From the next stream, I'll try to get more information from you guys. Say for example, I'll put when I put a video in the morning, I'll actually ask you guys in the comment section which particular charts you actually want to go through, different assets. If you actually suggest me different assets, what I can do is we'll actually finalize a time which will be suitable for you guys and for me to live stream, so we can actually interact with each other and do it properly. Say if you want to do a comparison between precise assets, you can actually inform me previously, or you can directly even let me know in the comment section of the live stream as well. We can actually go through the charts and discuss through that. So usually I think the majority of my viewers are actually from US and Europe. The majority are from. So if I'm considering the time of Europe, say for example California, this won't be a right time for them. It will be like early morning. But I was actually thinking about the European viewers for this stream. So say for example, if I actually have to consider the individuals from US and similar time frames in Canada and all, then I should be like getting up early in the morning here in South Korea around 4:30 and 5, start preparing myself and come online by 5:30. So I'm not sure whether I can actually do that tomorrow morning, but I will try to come do a live stream tomorrow morning, say around 5:30 to 6 here in South Korea. So we'll try to go through different charts, because if those guys who are actually missing out now, say for example from US, Canada and that time zone, I'll actually try to come up with a new live stream early in the morning. Say here South Korea, that'll be 5:30, so that makes like, if here it's 5 o'clock in South Korea, 5 a.m. in the morning in South Korea, then it will be usually around 12 o'clock noon, 12 o'clock in California. So we can actually manage that there. So yes, again, I don't want to waste you guys time of your guys, so we'll actually meet next time at least, and thanks for watching and supporting this for now. I'm gonna actually end this, and thank you guys, thank you. Hmm?